Hey everybody, and welcome back to another video with the Roshank Redemption. In today's video, I wanted to talk about the new gameplay trailer released by Pokemon on their channel, and pretty much in this trailer they revealed 6 brand new Pokemon, and also talked about some new mechanics for Sun and Moon. Briefly here, before I get into the actual content, I'm not going to be going too in depth for each of the new Pokemon that were revealed. I'm probably only going to be giving a short overview, and the reason for that is I want to do a separate in-depth analysis for each of the new Pokemon. So down below in the description, I'll leave a link to each of the separate analysis videos for these new Pokemon, which should all be up sometime between today and the end of the week. So if you want to learn more about these new Pokemon, be sure to check the description below. Anyways, first up here we have the new Pokemon Wimpod, and this thing is completely ridiculous because it not only has the word wimp in its name, but also its ability is called Wimp Out, which makes the Pokemon either run away from battle or swap out the second its HP goes below half. I can actually kind of see this ability being useful in some rare cases, but overall it's way too gimmicky for it to be useful on a consistent basis, and as things are, Wimpod totally sucks. But I do expect it to evolve twice, and it does have the bug water typing, which is pretty decent, so you really never know how its evolutions are going to turn out. Next up we have Mimikyu, who's a very strange but also very unique Pokemon. It's got the super rare Ghost and Fairy typing, which is excellent offensively and defensively, so I expect this thing to be really useful from a type perspective. Its ability is an all-new ability to Pokemon Sun and Moon that's called Disguise, and it allows it to escape an enemy attack one time. If Mimikyu ends up evolving, which I do think it will have at least one evolution, it could be a very good Pokemon because that ability is going to be really overpowered. It essentially nullifies an opponent's attack, which can be huge, especially in competitive battles, and combined with its typing, it could end up being really good. Mudsdale is the next Pokemon I want to talk about here, and in my opinion, Mudsdale is actually the most interesting Pokemon that they revealed for a variety of reasons. Its design is really unique and perhaps a little bit strange. I didn't really like it at first, to be honest, but it is growing on me just a little bit. It's a pure ground type that weighs over 2,000 pounds, which pretty much confirms it's going to have good bulk and probably high physical attack. Mudsdale's abilities are Own Tempo and Stamina, which is a new ability that raises defense by 1 stage each time it's hit by an attack, and this is a really good ability, so if Mudsdale does end up having pretty good stats, it is going to be a very good Pokemon. As for evolution, I think that Mudsdale either doesn't evolve at all, or is already in its final stage of evolution. Fourth up we have the Pokemon Comfey, and I never thought I would see a Pokemon modeled after a lei of flowers, but I have to applaud Game Freak for their unique design here. I'm not necessarily going to say that I like the design, but it is very creative, I'll give them that. Comfey is a pure fairy type with the abilities Flower Veil and Triage, which is a really good ability that gives priority to healing moves. This thing is definitely going to evolve in my opinion, and I think it's going to be a 3-stage evolution, so depending on the stats of its final evolution, it could be a very good Pokemon. Bewear is another Pokemon that was shown off in the trailer, and this thing is a normal and fighting type. The design is really out there, and at first when I saw the pink coloring, I thought I would have a fairy evolution, but I actually have a different theory now. What I think is that Bewear is actually hiding something, and it's going to evolve into something really sinister, and the main reason why I think this is because of its name. Bewear sounds a lot like Beware, so I think it might actually turn into some sort of ghost and fighting type, and that pink color is going to turn into something a lot more sinister. That's all just speculation though, so take it with a grain of salt. Bewear can have the ability Klutz or Fluffy, which is another new ability to Sun and Moon that halves damage from all attacks that make direct contact, but it also makes the Pokemon take double damage from fire type moves. This does give Bewear an extra weakness, but it is still a great ability because it automatically becomes a great physical tank. Finally, we have Bounsweet, which is a Pokemon that to me looks a lot like Badoo, and like Badoo, I think it's probably going to evolve twice. Bounsweet is a grass-type Pokemon with the abilities Leaf Guard and Oblivious, both of which are abilities that we've seen before, and is classified as a fruit Pokemon, so I'm thinking that its evolutions are going to resemble fruit in some way. Now let's talk about a rather controversial topic in hyper training. The main reason why hyper training is so controversial is because there's been so much arguing in the Pokemon community recently over legitimate versus hacked Pokemon. Personally, I don't really have a side in the argument, and even if I did, I wouldn't really want to take a side in this video, but I am going to say that I think this change benefits people who raise Pokemon legitimately, because now things are a lot easier on them. I think for the most part, this is going to reduce hacking by a large margin. Take that for what you will, and as I said, I'm not trying to disrespect either side of the argument here. Anyways, the whole idea behind hyper training is that once you hit level 100, you can take these things called bottle caps and give them to this guy called Mr. Hyper, who will improve your Pokemon stats in exchange for bottle caps. The way he improves them is basically by raising IVs, which is totally huge because IVs are not something you can change normally in Pokemon games, but this provides an alternative method to increase a Pokemon's IVs. Getting a Pokemon with the right IV spread is easier now than it was in 5th or 4th generation, but it's still pretty difficult, so this is a bonus for people who raise their Pokemon legitimately. Lastly, the Pokemon Company introduced this thing called Global Link, which provides a lot of competitive features such as allowing you to host friendly competitions, participate in online competitions, and take part in live competitions. Basically, the Global Link is going to be the hub for all types of trainer interactions for competitive battles and stuff of that nature. Alright guys, well that pretty much does it for all the major information that was revealed in the trailer. If I did miss anything, then be sure to let me know down below and I'll try to touch on it in a future video. As always, if you enjoyed this video or found it informative, be sure to drop me a like down below, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already for more Pokemon Sun and Moon videos in the future, and also comment below telling me what you guys think of the new Pokemon. Otherwise, I hope you all have an awesome rest of your day, and I'll see you in my next video.